Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome you to coverage of a new season. For the first time in over 3 years since the COVID era, the Northwest Racing Series is back with 2 nights a week of racing, part of the CRN Challenge Series. We welcome you to round number 1 tonight at the World Center of Racing, Daytona, and 200 miles, 80 laps with the return and season 1 of the new Northwest ARCA Series, or the ARCA Northwest Series. I'm Wesley Outland. You need to fix some of your graphics, Charles, because it says trucks. This ain't trucks. It is ARCA. Northwest ARCA Racing Series. Wesley Outland here with you. Jeremy Stanley alongside. We're the voices of the Northwest Racing Series. And who knows? It's actually Charles Wooten. He's pushing the buttons. Jeremy, we're ready to go at Daytona. We love super speedways. I'm really enjoying this new ARCA program from the cars I've seen so far. They're really, really exciting and fun. I think we're going to have a fun series here for 20 events this year.
Yeah, these ARCA trucks are going to be a blast to watch around Daytona here.
ARCA
I have
cars.
partaked. Yeah, I'm going off the Charles Wooten's ARCA truck special. So that being said, though,
I love your
ARCA
humor.
cars are. It's so dry. It's so dry.
Oh, wow.
These cars run so fantastic here, though, at Daytona. Like, I did a little bit of practice on an open session with the
Sure.
day they came out, and man, let me tell you, like, the drag that comes off these cars. I didn't realize they go up to 190 miles an hour, so they run just as fast as the Xfinity cars almost. Like, it is a lot of fun in these ARCA cars.
Sure, definitely, man. I think we're going to really enjoy seeing these things, man. I think we're going to see a really, really good race. The field is gritty. They're just about ready to go into their qualifying. Can we show you the setup for everything here? As they got about 5 minutes for the driver's meeting, right? Ain't the driver's meeting going on? Yeah, so we're having a 5-minute warm-up session. So listen, when it's live, it's live. We jumped the gun here. So now, Charles, all right, ARCA cars. Let's Northwest ARCA Series. No fast repair, just like the Trucks Premier Series on Monday night. 100% fuel capacity. 3 sets of tires in the pits plus the set on the car for the start of the race. 2.5-mile racetrack here at Daytona. 31 degrees of banking to the corners. The super stretch, the tri-oval. 200 miles, 80 laps, overtime unlimited if need be, 2 attempts, and 2-lap qualifying. Qualifying's over, though, now. We're about ready to just have a little quick warm-up session here, Jeremy, and then we're going racing here in Daytona, buddy.
I have not seen a league in quite some time run a 5-minute warm-up session. This is probably something they tested to do this differently because they've never, at least from the time I've noticed, never have done this,
So they're probably having the driver's meeting, Jeremy. They're probably having the driver's meeting, so that's probably what's going on right now. Thanks to all of y'all that are watching. Hit that like and subscribe and share for the Northwest Racing Series, of course, on Discord and Facebook. And we will step away to take a break. We're also at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification to get that out of the way. The lineup, the race, the Daytona Northwest ARCA Series, part of the CRN Challenge, is next.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Hi, welcome to Day Motorsports. Come on, check out what we got.
Thank you for keeping Day Motorsports in business for over 50 years.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland, the voice of the Northwest Racing iRacing series on LSRTV and proudly again on the Community Radio Network. As always, we're excited for another season of the best iRacing Pacific drivers of the Northwest putting on a show that you all enjoy every Monday night. Join us also on LSRTV or listen on the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com. The power of radio to the imagination of the listener, iRacing style, CRN, LSRTV for the Northwest Racing Series. Back here at Daytona, now you see what the face looks like with the voice. Wesley Outland back with you, of course, Jeremy Stanley, and the numbers are dropping, Jeremy. I apologize for that.
The brain cells are dropping, the numbers are dropping, and I think violence was just occurred on that commercial break. I honestly, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, right, the warm-up is over. Not a car took a time at all. So I figure, I think it was just for the driver's meeting. So how about this, though? The field is getting gridded. They're getting ready to get into position real quickly. Let's take a look at the weather conditions as we'll get ready to give you the starting lineup in just a moment here at Daytona, presented by Kaufman Creative. There it is, 71 degrees, sim temp, air temp. Wind speed a little windy at 10 miles an hour, track temp at 71. That's very unusual for a daytime race to have the same temp and track temp at the same time there. And we're racing at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, I got a feeling, Jeremy, as we warm up into the afternoon, the track temps will warm up also.
I mean, tracks will naturally temp up just because of the engine stuff going on the track. But there's a thick blanket of clouds that's maintaining that track and air temp. So once that clears out, yes, this place will warm up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, without a further ado, round number one of the CRN's Challenge Series. And here at the Super Speedway of Daytona, the ARCA Northwest Series starting lineup for 200 miles. Ryan Bloom, a former ARCA Northwest champion, will start on the pole. And Ryan Bay will be on the front row starting second. Row number two will find Dennis Moore. He's outside. Chance Crum in the 83. We got new names in the Northwest Series besides our regulars. Sean Brightsman and Brett Johnson of Team LSRTV, row 3. Row 4, Roy Grande, get your tacos ready for Taco Thursday. And Chris White, the CWR Media, number 19. Top 10 there will find Kyler Hope and Taylor Alto in the 88. I wonder if Kyler Hope is the guy that works for Flow Racing that I saw last week at Wake County. There's your top 10 there, Jeremy.
There you go, row 6. On the inside will be Frank Harrison. In 12th place will be Stephen Bartlett. Row 7, you're going to find Troy Daggett in the 99, and to his outside of 14th, Tristan Hayter. Row 8, we'll see Devin West team up with Paul Newton there in the 27. Row number 9, you're going to have Ryder Shiflett, and to his outside, Todd Miles in the 62. And then to round out the top 20, number 80, Mike Knott. And in 20th place, Hunter Crow.
Starting in 21st, Justin Brester in the 69, Brester, and it's going to be Bryce Clark in the 93, row 11. Row 12, we'll find Ron Hunter and Dana Rogers. Row 13 on the field, William Fletcher and Chris Kynes. Row 14, you'll find Ray Partridge and Kenneth Garber. Starting in the 30th position will be Tyler King and Brian Barnes, former Cup and Truck champions. Row 16, Dan West Jr. and Jeff Stabnow. Row 17, Stephen Paulison, John Ottenbacher. Row 18, Ray Fournier and Chris Walters. Up to 40, Scott Hutchinson, Brian Reynoso in the 38th position. 40 drivers. How about that, Jeremy Stanley, for the lid lifter debut of the ARCA Northwest Series tonight at Daytona, boss man?
Nuts. 40 drivers. We talked about it on our broadcast last night, you know, for what that was worth. Wait, hold on.
Okay, 38. Round it out to 38. It's 38. It's 38. Round it out to 38.
That's crazy.
It's still a good number.
It's a very good number. Absolutely. And this is going to be so much fun. I hope you guys that are watching right now on LSRTV and listening in on the CRN. It's going to be just a fantastic race. Hopefully we can match the energy of what these cars are going to produce. I have not watched a race with these yet here on the iRacing world, so we're all in for a treat here tonight.
200 laps, or 200 miles, 80 laps the distance, 2.5 miles here at the Daytona International Speedway, 31 degrees of banking. That long 3,000-foot super stretch. We'll give you all the details on the tail of the tape of this awesome track. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time. A new era with the Northwest Racing Series since COVID of 2020. 2 nights of racing with the Northwest best. Green flag in the air. The debut of the CRN Speedway Challenge and the ARCA Northwest Series is underway. We feel the thunder in the World Racing. Put a lap on the board, 79 to go. We got trouble in the triangle. Couple of cars going around and they're still crashing, slamming into the wall. Drivers are out 3 in positions, crashing. And pick your cars that are involved. Take your pick. Bryce Clark, Chris Kynes, welcome to the new virtual ARCA Northwest car. And we got them wrecking in the triangle. We at least got a lap completed. Here's a replay, Jeremy Stanley, of why we're under caution on lap number 1 here in the Daytona 200.
There were no fast repairs, so we're going to be out early, at least out with a significant amount of damage. So it looks like 2 cars in total in this wreck here. And what's going to happen is we see Chris Kynes. Oh, he's going to... Interesting. Himself and the other driver.
Man, that's
3 cars. They both went down the track at the same time. One went sharper across Chris Kynes' front bumper, sends him off there. Then that 3rd car just wallops the 57. That's where he has no rear end. Man, what a hard hit there to the back end of that car.
Caution out over the speedway. A quick yellow flag. Man, oh man. And you kind of hit it on that as well, Jeremy. There is no fast repairs in this series. If you get in an accident and you crash early, there's no fast repair. Your car, for the most part, is possibly going to go on the damaged vehicle policy clock to take time, lose laps to fix, or you're out of the race. And that is a heartbreaker in the early going.
Yep, you're done, bud. 57, making the tow. I think the other guy who destroyed the back of his car, I think he's going to be towing as well. So required 3 minutes of tow plus any required damage, and then of course you're optional. So count yourselves all but out unless there's a caution-filled event and your car's up to speed, which that's a tough start, man. Getting this new series hyped up and then you have a wreck on the first time you go full speed in the trial. It's just gotta be a bummer for those guys.
Caution out for the first time on lap number 1. Let's give you the tell of the tape of what is virtual Daytona International Speedway. Daytona is located in Daytona Beach, Florida. Built back in, obviously, 1956. First race in 1959. The 500 was, of course, won by Lee Petty for NASCAR terms. 2.5 miles, 4.023 kilometers speedway long with 31 degrees of bank into the corners, 18 degrees at the start-finish line in front of that 3,800-foot tri-oval, 1,200 meters long. 31 degrees again, as we mentioned, in the corner in 1 and 2 will greet the drivers on a back straightaway that we call the super stretch that drops down to about 8 to 9 degrees of banking, and it is a 3,000-foot, 910-meter super stretch. Track width is 40 feet wide with 12 to 30 feet of apron. There is, of course, 180 acres in the infield, including a 44-acre Lake Lloyd. And, of course, this is a pit length of 1,600 feet on pit road. When they come to pit road, 50 feet wide. So there is all of the tell of the tape, if you will, as we look at Kyler Hope's car right now. And it is my good friend Kyler Hope. Me and him used to work together at Racing America, Speed 51 back in the day. And, of course, one of the lead producers for the Z-Max Cars Tour presented by Sound Gear on Flow Racing. And pretty cool, my friends Kyler Hope from up in the Northwest joining us in iRacing right now in 13th position. Caution out here early, Jeremy. Caution out here early, Ryan Bay, the early leader, sir.
Ask your friend where his right headlight went. That thing is ripped off. 2 cars have that. But looking like an ARCA car, a true ARCA car. There were some missing decals. But we should be getting the pace lights off this time. So it looks like we're going to have 4, which seems to be the normal theme here on iRacing, 4 caution laps per caution. And we're going to go 2 by 2 by 2, it looks like here, as they adapted a lot of the same rules of the NASCAR series the ARCA does. So that should translate very easily for those who are into stock cars in general. But they are going to go 2 by 2 here. 1 lap to go.
Side by side when they come back to the Geico restart zone. Ryan Bay, Chance Crum, Chevrolet on the front row. Then it's the Ford with Ryan Bloom in the 25 for Win Racing, followed by Brett Johnson in the number 7. Dennis Moore, your top 5. Then it's going to be Chris White, Sean Breitzman, Roy Grande, 3 Toyotas in the top 10, along with the Ford of Stephen Bartlett and Devin West, Jeremy, your top 10 as they work their way with the lights off on the pace car, ready to come back for the restart for the first time in the ARCA Northwest Racing Series here at Daytona.
And you can see the early sunrise here as we're just past 9 a.m. server time. So you see the sunlight starting to reflect off the right-hand side of these cars as they drive down the back straightaway, not when they're covered up by a billboard and by the old Budweiser pit party section that's no longer. And, yeah, let's get some green flag racing in. Hate to see these guys wreck out early. Give them a chance. Because, man, we're looking forward to a long green flag run and some fun tonight.
So we had a nice little crank it up, Jeremy, before the accident happened. Just break it up. We had a crank it up, and then we had a feel the thunder and a break it up, as our producer says in the background. Working lap number 5 of 80. Still a long way to go in this one. 200 miles, 80 laps, the same distance of the ARCA Northwest Racing Series like the ARCA Menard Series. Back inside the Geico restart zone. Here comes Bay, Crum through the gearboxes and back up to speed. We're back underway here in Daytona. This time, Bay on the restart, hugs the inside double yellow line. Crum down to the top shelf. They're going to go door to door, stride for stride, hitting the turn 1.
A lot of drivers going to the bottom. That's where the momentum is for the first half lap here at Daytona. When we get to turn 3, they're going to be nearly full speed. And that's where the outside is going to take advantage here. But it looks like maybe some 3 wide early. Nope. It looks like on this camera, we're going to be 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through. Crum at the point right now. Johnson second in that number 7 Kyle Larson scheme. And look at that advantage the outside gets in turn 3. The 83, Mr. Crum has got a large advantage. I wonder if that's something that's going to be pronounced here in the ARCA car. He gets free lane choice. He's going to dip down to the bottom in front of the number 29, Mr. Ryan Bay. And I wonder how they're going to manage the temperatures on these cars. I've watched a lot of super speedways recently, and the lead car can bounce around between the top and bottom to help each pusher cool off their engines. If that's going to be the same thing here tonight, or if it's just going to be high side only. Because look at this, the 7, Mr. Johnson already passing. Looks like the outside's got that speed.
Hung out to dry. Look at the 25 Bloom on the bottom, the 83 down below of Crum. He's free falling. He was just up in the front row a moment ago, and now falling all the way back to the top 20 and 16th, 17th, 18th, and more as Shiflett, Crum, and King flying by him. He stays in momentum forward. He'll stay green. They're working back into 1, and the sun is trying to poke through the morning clouds here in the early start at Daytona.
It is trying. There's some gaps in the sky, but for the most part, a fluffy blanket coming over Daytona National Speedway. Riding on board for 32, Tristan Hayter. He's running the inside here. See a lot of checkup on the inside. You can hear the throttle decel halfway down the back. And even in turn 3, we were reflecting on the RPM gauge. And the outside was working so well. And now they just went single file. So I don't know if that's just like a short-term thing and not a long-term that's sustained.
Picking up more speed through the throttle. Back up the corner into 1 and 2. Working out number 9. When they come back around, it's 8 of 80. And currently, that track temp, by the way, has picked up a couple of degrees also as we move closer into the bottom of the hour of 9 a.m. Eastern time. Right now, Chris White in the lead. That Toyota hugs the bottom line as they work into 3, Jeremy. It's West and Johnson right behind them. And look at now, Crum and Moore battling in the top 10. And they're broken up already in the 2 different packs.
Shift to the top there. The sunlight's breaking through in turn 3 and 4 at the moment. Not so much on this side of the track underneath that thick blanket of clouds. As we're seeing a lot of lane shifting here, a lot of space given between each driver as they caught the caution on lap 10 for the 2nd time this evening. Let's see.
Trouble.
Let's find out what happened. The 07.
Dana Rogers.
Damage.
Yeah, Dana Rogers in trouble, buddy. There it is. Trouble and caution out as the 07 machine, a couple other cars, I think, might have got a piece of it, trying to pull away in 33rd and 34th spot, way off the pace. That is Dana Rogers and Brian Barnes. We'll see if the 4 up top, the blue 4 and the white flamed 07 of Rogers, what happened with them.
Oh.
And there's a little push. Barnes into Rogers. Into the grass they go.
What happened there? Dana Rogers just shifted way up the track, tagged the door of the green car, and then came back down with the number 4 there, Brian Barnes, and that was interesting. I wonder why he made that such a lane shift like that in the trial.
From another angle. To the RPMs, Dana Rogers. Did Barnes come down on it? Yeah, he did. Man, I don't think Brian Barnes meant to, but he came down on Rogers, and then there was nowhere to go for both of them, and they go spinning here.
Yeah, so from that view, I think opposite. I think the 07 there just really shifted up his lane. And then maybe at the last second, that's where you may have seen the 4 Brian Barnes maybe make that last second move, which he was like going into the travel thinking, I got a car lane. And then he twitches the wheel and he's like, oh man, he's right there underneath me. Well, where did he come from?
And by the way, we're understanding that Brian Barnes, Dana Rogers are both getting the black flag, the meatball flag, if you will. And no, not a meatball flag. Meatball flag means you're out. Black flag means you just got to come to the pit lane. And I'm understanding also that there was an update recently done, and I guess they're saying there's possibly some issues with netcode. with these cars as well. So that's something that we're going to be watching. And I don't want to make anybody mad at the iRacing world, Jeremy, but I'm wondering if that might have a little something to do with it with Rogers and Barnes on the front straightaway to put our second caution out.
Well, you said the word that's very frowned upon. So we'll see what happens there. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's got to be called out. I was calling a race actually yesterday. They were tandeming too wide through turn 3 and 4. The second car in lane shifted backwards a half a car length within 1 second, punched the car behind it, caused a big wreck, and he kept driving away like nothing happened. That's something that should never,
and you know,
never
my thing is this. My thing is this. It's like what the great Vin Scully said in baseball: to always keep your eyes open and to tell the truth. And in my opinion, Jeremy, when you're calling a race virtual iRacing reality, it don't matter. You call what you see. Don't add anything more. Don't take anything away of what it is. But you know, I know that they frown upon the world in the world of iRacing netcode. But what do you call it? I mean, if it's sim. If it's internet lag, listen, it can mess up broadcasts. I had issues like this on Monday. Remember, Jeremy? I mean, you know, it's basically just not having the signal working the way that it should. And if they're not in mesh with one another, this is the result of what happens. Bottom line. In mesh would be like me and you talking on top of one another, and I think that you're done talking and I'm talking on top of you, and then you're done talking, and you're talking on top of me. Bottom line, that would be the net code in the world of the broadcast booth.
I don't know how you made that sound dirty, but here we are, late in the going here on a Thursday evening. But
it is late night. It is late night, Jeremy Stanley. It's late at night, you know.
Base lights are out, and no, you're absolutely right, though, all jokes aside. You see cars literally drive through one another, and that's a thing, too. These cars have hitboxes, but if internet says, hey, you're unstable, you're technically not a hitbox for a moment.
That's right.
That can really mess up some cars around you. And, of course, since you're not a hitbox, you're not affected by the contact, but then everybody else is. So it's just a very, very interesting internet world that we live in when it comes to sim racing. You don't have this in real life, of course, but also, you know, on the flip of the coin, we don't have debris that comes off the car and affects our tires, right? So, you know, we'll just call that debris is the internet warp and lag.
Yeah, there you go. It is the ARCA Northwest Racing Series Daytona 200 from virtual Daytona International Speedway, iRacing on LSRTV Sierra. And hey, by the way, don't forget, the archives are posted from Phoenix from St. Patty's Day for the Northwest Racing Series. We did that last night. That was very fun. And then, of course, we're live tonight, and we'll be back next Thursday night. We'll let everybody know we're taking off next Monday. Next Monday, we're off for the Northwest Racing Series. We're off next Monday, but we will be back here with you next Thursday night with a close to, I think this will be an 11 o'clock start time. And that, of course, will be round number 2. I've always said this. I want to get your thoughts on this. We always say that the meat and potatoes of the schedule comes after we get away from the Daytona, if you will. So that'll be next week. Race number 2 of this season 1 for the Cactus Bikes 150. And yeah, we're going to Phoenix. You like Phoenix? We were there last night.
I love Phoenix. Phoenix is a great track. Very unique, very fun. A lot of people might disagree with me, but you know, it is what it is. I love that track, and there's nothing you can do about it. There we go, green flag on lap 14. Scheduled 80 laps here to take the start of the number 19. Big lunge there for the driver, Chris White, into turn number 1. Do they maintain the outside for the first few laps like they did the first start?
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch back inside the Geico restart zone and back under speed again. Takes them a couple of laps to get up to speed. They'll do that right now as they work their way to the back straightaway. The ARCA cars in line, in tow. The leader is now Devin West, a former Truck Series Northwest champion back in 2024 or 2023. His dad is the defending champion, 3-time champion for the trucks. And now Ryan Bay right there. Hunter Crum Tristan Hayter. These are new names, Jeremy Stanley, that we have never heard of before, but they're running under the Northwest banner for the first time. Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns, right? New names, which is exciting, but also at the same time, we don't know who they are. So we're learning in real time what it's like to race with these new names out here. And this is why we must have 40 drivers. It's completely bonkers. It's fun to see 40 drivers for a brand new series, but I know there's a lot of hype around this car, playing to the factor that hopefully this performance in this race today showcases what these cars are all about, and these drivers for that.
Yeah, for sure. They work their way back into the corner. Top 10 working in turn 4. Big gaggle of traffic behind them with West leading them through the tri-oval. Beta second, Crum White, Hayter top 3. Hayter now gets around Chris White. He led some laps earlier. Chris White now, they battle door to door. Going back into turn 1, the high side, working for Devin West up on the outside lane early as we're about to approach 1/4 of the way here in Daytona.
Love the sounds off these still camera shots on the back super stretch here of Daytona. One car, the number 4, Brian Barnes. Remember, he had that damage repaired. He's going slow. He's going multiple laps down here. And I'm looking at these paint schemes. Like that Dale Jarrett throwback there. That 27 on the outside. Beautiful paint job. Of course, I paint cars for NASCAR or for iRacing all the time. So kind of do my appreciations where I see them, but this outside lane though is so dominant right now. It almost makes me wonder why anyone's going to the bottom.
Something to think about.
Got 5 extra cars on the top versus the bottom here. And they're all giving each other 1 car length of space almost, which that's very nice to see.
It is.
It is. Playing the safe card. Very good here.
Well, I think you got to have patience, right, Jeremy? I mean, you got to have patience. This is, even though this is not the Northwest Truck Series or Cup in the past, it's still 200 miles. And these ARCA cars, that's probably one of the longest races on the season. And it's a big race, obviously, wanting to win Daytona, winning round 1 of the CRN Challenge Series. So you got to be patient. To first win the race, you must first finish. Had a couple of cautions, couple of stingers to start things, but right now, just get back in line. I say let's get to halfway, maybe lap 60, then give it all you got for 20 to go. Get through 3/4 of the race right now. Feel each other out, right? New drivers, new people in the Northwest. We don't know their abilities. We don't know what they are, who they are, for that matter. And you got some veterans of the Northwest that are also trying to weasel their way and figure out, can I get by this guy? Who will go with me? Who's my teammate? Who do I need to, maybe not help? All this is going on right now as this shuffle match continues in the trial.
And to throw a counter to that comment there, how do you learn from a driver if you're just going to stay in line and give that 1 car length of space? You're learning, only thing you could learn is one of 2 things. Maybe they're the throttle control, how consistent they can be behind someone, and how they're able to manage the heat in the engines in draft. So outside of that, like, maybe you got to make some moves early on to show, hey, I can make this happen. I can go from 20th to 1st in 5 laps. You just have to believe in me. Maybe some of these guys are just joining in for the first time. Maybe they're the first ones to make the bold moves.
Yeah, very true. Devin West from Shelton, Washington, leading the way in the number 5. Ryan Bay there in second. 3 wide car at the bottom of the apron with a problem. That's Brett Johnson. No, that's Dana Rogers. Dana Rogers involved in the early caution. Giving a meatball flag, or giving a black flag. Getting fixed, but multiple laps down is a 0-7 and losing the packet. This is another reason, Jeremy, why you don't want to have problems in the early going. Dana Rogers is 3 laps down. Brian Barnes is 1 lap down right now as they go to the back straightaway.
1 lap down is very manageable to get it back. You just have to hope you get it soon, or else the draft is going to eat you alive and spit you multiple laps down. And I'm just continuing to watch this outside lane. At what point are we going to see the Dale Jr. line where the entire field goes single file up against the outside wall? I'm almost expecting it at this point, knowing the speed that it carries up top. The ARCA car is a little less powerful than the trucks and than the Xfinity, right? So that outside seems to be carrying a little momentum to keep these engines wound up to the preferred RPMs.
Perfect formation. 1/4 of the way through right now. When they come to the line, we'll give you that at least top 20 rundown. Jeremy and I, Devin West is the leader, Ryan Bay second, Chris White third. Connor Crum just got around fighting for that spot. Then it's Tristan Hayter, followed by Brett Johnson, Dennis Moore, Roy Grande, and Ryan Bloom just passing Frank Harris for the top 10 there, Jeremy.
Yeah, good running top 10. I'm looking at the splits here. Devin West, your current leader, talking about biggest movers. He's up 14 positions to find himself in the lead. Then you got Hunter Crum, who's up 16 spots now, currently in P4. And then if you slot back just a little bit further in 13th, Chris Walters up 23 positions, and John Ottenbacher in 20th or 21st position gained. I butchered that, I'm sorry. 21 positions gained. But yeah, it's a huge move. That's half the field that they have passed in 1/4 of the race. And that goes to show what I was saying earlier. Is you want to showcase your talents, that's how you do that right there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there. 1/4 of the way through. Let's take a look real quickly at the race summary presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you to dig with care. So far, with 1/4 of the distance in, 2 cautions, 6 caution laps, and 3 lead changes. Right now, it's been a battle between Devin West, Ryan Bay, Chris White. Some of these guys led early, and right now, we're watching them all in the top 3. Virginia811.com reminding you, call before you dig, and dig with care. ARCA Northwest Series CRN Challenge round 1 here tonight. By the way, the CRN Challenge is presented by the Community Radio Network. That's part of the CRN Challenge series. Their next race will be in 3 weeks at Kansas at the Tide 150. Couple of crown jewel events, the CRN Challenge series. The Community Radio Network is proud to partner with the Northwest Racing Series. Next week, we're going to Phoenix. Kern County Raceway, Jeremy, on the schedule. Kansas, Charlotte. You got a little short tracks across America, and then you got the super speedways of the world as well, or speedways of the world, popular to NASCAR and ARCA will be running out. So that's pretty cool.
And we have Portland about midway through the schedule.
Yeah, Portland.
Road course racing. Is there any dirt racing?
And Jeremy, I'll tell you what, man, a cool thing is we're going to see Portland International not this Monday, but the following Monday on, April the 7th or the following week, where we'll actually, I think it's the 14th, I think it is, where we'll actually be able to see Portland for the first time ever, and it'll be with the Truck Series.
Yeah, that'd be a great week to showcase Portland. I love Portland as a road course. Just out in the middle of nowhere on the northwest coast. I'm from Florida, right? So if you don't know Xfinity racing and trucks, you don't know what Portland is. It's a nothing. So it's a great track,
right.
And yeah, there's no dirt racing. I know the ARCA series in real life goes to at least 1 dirt race a year. I forget the track. It's that really large, almost half.
They run it. ARCA runs it 2 dirt races a year, my friend. Normally it's around Labor Day, and the one is at Springfield, and the other one is DeCoin, Illinois.
There you go. I just remember the Illinois one. Yeah, they don't have that there, but at least we got a couple road courses. Lime Rock, that'll be crazy. It's June 5th, so we got a couple months away from that. But I love the schedule that they built, though, for the opening series for the ARCA.
Jeremy, we are running on dirt. We are running on dirt, buddy. It's going to be later on in the year, my friend, but coming up on August the 21st, USA International Speedway down in Lakeland, Florida. That will be turned into a dirt track, and we have the race on August 21st, so there you go.
Okay. Thank you for that correction. I love it, man. It's great.
Pick up the action again. Right now, Chris White puts his CWR Media Toyota in the lead. He's on the inside, that black and yellow car. On the bottom, up high, West, Devin West, plenty of room given. Johnson on the inside of the Hendrick cars, number 7. Keep an eye on Bay. Grande now starting to climb up into the field as well, with a solid run for him in the top 5. So we're seeing some new names climb or fall into the scoring pylon right now as we head towards lap number 27 of 80. 13, by the way, to the halfway mark here in Daytona, Jeremy.
And I thought Chris White was going to be able to, for once, contend for the race lead, and just like that, Ryan Bay in the 29 said, all right, Devin West, we're going to ship you to the front. And they both, for a moment, cleared the 19 on the front straightaway. Now that inside has that momentum once more, they're going to be nose to nose almost here in turn number 3. A little side draft action for the 19. It's going to slingshot past Devin West. Now when you get to the front straightaway, watch Devin retake this with a full head of steam. Well, he still took him by a whole car length. I thought he was going to get some more side draft, but nope, he's going to stay wide. Takes the lap there. And the inside's picking up a little bit. The speed is kind of growing. It just took a little bit of numbers to drop down and to let these engines kind of, when they got a little bit closer and closer, they get more heated up. That's cooling. And so it's kind of equalized both lanes.
Yeah, kind of keeping an eye on that. Another lap on the board here as they work their way back to the line. So glad you're joining us. Can we go side by side, Charles? We have that? No? Maybe? I got you. We need to. Devin West, Ryan Bay, right there. Working their way with Crum, Hayter, right there.
Where the inside lane
on and Bach.
Like that.
Keep an eye on Ottenbacher, Jeremy. He's up on the high side, the man out of Billings, Montana. He's up to 5th, 6th, 7th, right there finally with Crum and Johnson and Grande and Newton. Remember, Paul Newton, I call him the road course king, Jeremy. He was the Daytona 200 winner for the Northwest Racing Series trucks about a month ago here in Daytona when he won.
He knows the super speedway stuff, and John Ottenbacher, you just mentioned him, just cracking the top 10. He is up 25 positions now, just clearly the highest mover in the field right now. He knows his super speedway stuff, and he's not done. He's going to look to get inside this top 5 and contend for this win. Not even halfway into this race as we cross the line on 30 laps completed, 50 laps remaining.
Tonight is a special night, by the way, if you want to try to grab a couple of drivers, Charles, on production. Jeff Stabnow, who right now is in the 19th position on the racetrack, if you want to highlight him, the former Daytona 200 winner in the trucks and a champion. Jeff Stabnow today makes his 460th career start in the ARCA event in Daytona. This is his overall, Jeremy, 460th career start in the Northwest Racing Series. So a big milestone for him. Another driver that's got a big number today is behind him, Sean Brightsman, who currently is in 14th on the racetrack. If you want to highlight that race car, the number 46 machine, there he is up top. He starts his 425th Northwest endeavor today in Daytona, Jeremy. So 460, 425, they're at the top of the list of the all-time starters of Northwest competition.
I love how you're just Mike Joy and just pull out the stats like that. The stats that nobody else has. Wesley Atlin's got you on that stat book. So yeah, that's some big numbers. 400 plus starts in one league. That's not in iRacing. That's in just this league right here, Northwest.
That's right. That's right.
Talk about commitment. You do this for free. You actually probably even pay into it. Not earning money. And you've been doing it for 460 starts.
That's
Love
right.
that.
Surpassed Chad. He surpassed a former champion and winner of Mark Walls. Mark Walls had many starts. He hasn't returned. He had 152, so it's been a couple of years ago that they went to the top of the ladder. But Jeff Stabnow, obviously 42 career wins, 179 top fives, 290 top tens in his career at the Northwest top of the banner. We're closing in on halfway, and it has been Devin West leading. Devin West, by the way, no stranger to winning or being in victory lane or being a champion of the Northwest program. Today is his 184th career event in Northwest. He has 31 career wins, Jeremy, and he's looking for his 132nd top 10 tonight here in Daytona. And right now, he leads the way as we're about a handful of laps to the halfway mark, and things have kind of calmed down here, and I'm actually glad that we're seeing that, but about 6 laps to the halfway mark of this race here in Daytona.
Yeah, as broadcasters, you want the just pure excitement all the way through and through. As a person sitting in the driver's seat, this is what you want to do, is just log those laps, take it easy. I think you already touched on it. You have to be there to have a chance to win the race. And so you can clearly tell by the space between each car, that's exactly their mentality right now, is let's get it to at least, like you mentioned, lap 40, lap 60. And at that point, you just hammer to the floor and just go for it. But love the respectful racing so far early on to open up the ARCA Series racing here. And here we go, green flag pit
Here we come. I had a feeling, didn't I just call it, Jeremy? I said green flag pit stops have got to be on the horizon. And they're happening right now. Ryan Bay, Devin West, Hunter Crum, just some of the names on pit road. Tristan Hayter, Chris White, Frank Harris, Todd Miles, Bartlett, about 15 cars or more, all coming in. Kyler Hope, Taylor Alto, Ryder Shiflett, Todd Miles, Justin Brester, and Chris Walters. They're all in a pack. They're all coming down pit lane. And you want to make sure you hit your marks and not make a mistake. Especially like the 17. What in the world did he do? He might have overshot his pit stall or missed pit stall entrance for Hunter Crum. He is way off the pace, and that is a disaster for the 17. You don't want that to happen. Here comes the guys coming off of the first leg of pit stops, though, back into turn 1.
And he's close to not making it with the draft. We'll have to see if he can hold on or if he falls back. But,
Ryan Bloom in. Dennis Moore, Brett Johnson, Jeff Stabnow, Ray Fournier, Jeremy, a handful of cars now coming back onto the pit lane here at lap 36.
Yeah, that big pack was 14 cars. We're going to follow it up by 5 more on the next following lap. So the guys on your screen now are probably the ones that are going to come down this time. They all get to the bottom here anyways. They passed 1 lap car in the 13. Down to the bottom. Watch. Does the 08, 80, 99, 55. They all come down pit road. So everybody says, well, John Ottenbacher
will.
Did he?
Ottenbacher will. Here's something to think about, Jeremy. You see now the 17 of Crum. He now pulls back out on the racetrack. Here's something to think about also. The drivers that are currently now in the top 10 all pitted on lap 11 and 12 in the second caution of the race. So that might stretch things till around lap 50 or so, possibly, for Daggett and the top 12 dozen cars. They're in a different strategy than the other ones that had not pitted until lap 35 just a moment ago.
Good thing to notate there. At least 1 more pit stop guaranteed before this thing's all said and done. If we go green flag the rest of the way. You mentioned 4 total tires. Forget about that. These guys aren't changing anything unless maybe there's a caution. Or you can take just left sides if you want to, but I don't think tire wear is an issue here. As well, it's something else I mentioned. What you don't know what Super Speed Racing is all about. But then again, I'm used to Goodyears. I have no idea what these Goodyear tires are going to do here. Do they wear more? Probably. That's what Goodyear fans want, is for them to, run like Hoosiers. So maybe they have a little extra wear.
I'm glad that you say the word Hoosier Tire because it's actually General Tire.
General Tire
did get bought out by Hoosier. So you're
fired.
all on the same page, though. You are. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm fired. So you guys late. I'm just kidding. That's good correction. It is General Tire. I knew that.
It is General Tire. Hoosier Tire bought General. Well, Hoosier Tire got bought out by Michelin, and when they did, Hoosier Tire, General Tire, all of that come together. So, yeah, we're on the same page here, brother. Halfway this time by. 2 cautions have slowed them down. We're seeing green flag pit stops. We will take a look at the top 10 right now as Troy Daggett is leading the way. Dan West Jr. Son led early. Now Danny West, 3-time defending truck champion, now up to 2nd. Ray Partridge 3rd. Mike Nutt, Paul Newton, Brightsman, King, Fletcher, Garber, Paulison as we crank it up and feel the thunder at halfway here at Daytona. Here in the Daytona 200. Let's take a look at the race summary so far in this event right now. Lap 42 of 80 laps. 2 cautions so far. 6 caution laps and 6 lead changes. We had 3 in racing, and a lot of those changes were an end made during green flag pit stops. The top 12 pitted on lap 11. Everyone else pitted about a handful of laps before the cross flags in this race, and we are 100 miles into it. Thank you for joining us for the new debut of the ARCA Northwest Series. This is round number 1 of the CRN Speedway Challenge as well. I'm Wesley Outland, Jeremy Stanley alongside. We thank you for joining us for iRacing on LSRTV or listening on the Community Radio Network at WeAreCRN.com. Jeremy, you're taking the first 100 miles here of this race in Daytona. Kind of like the way I wanted to see. Little cautions, but for the most part, good strategy I think we're seeing right now.
We've learned a lot. We learned wreck early, then you take the cautious route. You're going very, very cautious around one another, giving them tons of space. That's great to start a new series with new drivers. And then we learn a green flag pit stop. We learn the ARCA cars. We've not seen this early on the iRacing service unless you're actively racing these cars. And so we've learned how pit stops work and how easy or how hard it is to get on the brakes, slow down, and avoid penalties unlike the 17. And then we've seen the damage and what that entails. A little bit of contact equals a lot of minute repairs from the couple cars that have had damage. So, and then now we've learned the suction rate, how far you can be behind some packs and just start to slowly close into one another, in which these spoilers are so tall that they give you a little extra drag behind to be carried. Like right now we're watching at the 49 or 48 kind of just chilling in the back here in this pack. He's able to maintain with no help from behind by virtue of that extra drag. So we've learned quite a bit so far in this first half.
Yeah, we really have, and we're glad that you're able to join us for our coverage. As right now we're working with Troy Daggett up in front. He leads the way. Dan West Jr. second. Partridge, of course, that's a new name in the series. Ray Partridge, his 40's third. Mike Knott, a new name in the Northwest Series. He's in fourth. And Paul Newton, the Daytona truck winner right now, sitting in the top 5. That's the way it stands currently right now. Then you've got Breitzman, King, Fletcher, Paulison comes down pit road. He was in 9th. He's in pit lane now. That puts Bay and West now, Devin West, back up to 10th. So some of the drivers that were leading earlier in the top 10 now, Jeremy, are starting to take advantages. Here comes some of the other cars working down through the tribal, and I thought they were going to pull onto the pit lane. They do not. Only one car.
One car at Super Speedways equals no bueno. So,
That was Stephen Paulison.
yeah, that can't be planned, right? That's too early to come down for your second pit stop. Now 47. They could technically make it by themselves.
He
There has to
pitted
be
at lap
something on there.
11. Remember what I told you? I wonder if he's going for an undercut on these other guys that pitted with him. Because he
But you
pitted
need
at lap
partners.
11. William Fletcher
You need
now
partners,
on
right?
pit lane. Do what now?
You need partners, right? You can't do it by yourself.
I mean, you
at
need
Daytona.
them. Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
need to find friends. You got to have them. Friends, you got to need them. Seriously. You're a sitting duck if you come down pit road by yourself. And here we go. On the pit road, Charles. Troy Daggett is in. Here come the front runners up in the front now pitting. And I figured it was going to be around, what did I say? They pitted at lap 11. Here you go, around 47 to 50 laps. And here they come on lap 47, Jeremy, on pit road now. This could be the money stop possibly for these guys here.
Yeah, let's see how this plays out. Early pit stop here, get it out of the way, and run it to the end. If it stays green flag the whole time, these guys might look exactly like the trendsetters here. You know, set the
Paul
standard.
Newton's in.
They can happen. We'll see though.
Paul Newton pulls in. So does Sean Breitzman. So does Tyler King. Here comes almost everybody now coming in on the scoring pylon to pit. And this will cycle back around to Ryan Bay being the new leader. These drivers are totally off sequence of the other ones. Ryan Bay pitted on lap 35. These drivers pitted at lap 11. Stephen Paulison got it started. He pitted at lap 11. Now the other dozen cars that were up on the pylon at halfway have now pitted, Jeremy, as you see Sean Breitzman exit and put Ryan Bay, Devin West, Chance Crum, Tristan Hayter, Sean Breitzman. There they are, back in the line like it was before, lap 30? And then right back at the top, 7-8 again.
Different sequence of pit stops, and here we are, still quite a few drivers that have been around each other since the very beginning at the front of all here now. So now the thing is, if you have another set of green flag pit stops, or if they got a yellow, it's going to change everything up, of course. But right now, this is a great spot. These guys are like, you know what, we are locked into a top 5 almost. Now we're just in a coast phase, praying that there's no yellow, wait till the very last lap, we'll hash it out then. But you're just sitting pretty.
28 cars on the lead lap, Ray 48 at the tail end of the field. Hunter Crum, first car 1 lap down. By the way, I want to emphasize on this, as I was mentioning in your top 10. Ryan Bay, Devin West, Chance Crum, and Tristan Hayter are right there locked with one another. You saw that for the front of the pack of the leaders. There is Sean Breitzman and these other guys now back in the top 12 that are now trying to get back forward again. But the top 4 cars right now, Jeremy, are separated by 0.3 of a second. You're seeing them on the scoring pylon right there. You go all the way back down to 5th. Frank Harris, the legend, is 8.5 seconds back, as right now we see Breitzman, Partridge, Newton, King, all of them just pitted a moment ago, now trying to catch up with the pack where the leaders are. But right now they're about, 18 seconds, half the track distance, if you will, from the leaders, working down now into turn number 3.
Nice push down here, the number 5 into the 29. That doesn't sustain when you're single file like this. He's just hugging the back bumper here of Ryan Bay. But it's going to keep this nice 7-car pack, almost 8 now, at full speed across the line here. 29 laps remaining in the opening race of the ARCA Series.
Bay in the lead. We need to step away and take a quick break. Please give us about a minute. We'll come back. If anything happens, we'll break in. This is iRacing on LSRTV, listening on the Community Radio Network. We're also approaching the top of the hour. We'll pause quickly for station identification as well.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Hi, welcome to Day Motorsports. Come on, check out what we got.
Thank you for keeping Day Motorsports in business for over 50 years.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Back here in Daytona, ready to bring you to the finish of this one as we are closing in on 25 laps to go here in Daytona. And approaching the final quarter of the distance. Jeremy Stanley, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten on production, iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. More details at livesimracing.com. And the radio side of things, we are CRN.com, 87.9 FM in the Carolinas of Smithfield and Clayton. And right now, Jeremy, Ryan Bay in the lead of that number 29 machine. Right now, look at Frank Harris. I'm impressed with Frank, right? He's 11 seconds behind, but Jeremy, he's in the hunt. If something happens, he is in the catbird seat to possibly have a stellar finish here for debuting in the ARCA Northwest Series in Daytona.
It just takes one mistake at Daytona under green flag on the track to change literally everything about this race. We're in that point of the race right now. The laps are narrowing down. It's almost go time. So yeah, one mistake, we get rebunch them back up. We're gonna see complete chaos. The guys in the back trying to get to the front. So a little too wide action here. A little crossover. What a cross! It's so strong. To put himself below the double yellow line there in the middle of the corner. Not fun. It's a 20+ degree banking transition onto that apron, so gotta be careful there.
That's the 23 car in the back of the pack, might I add, of Stephen Bartlett. And pit stops going on. Here comes Brett Johnson. Lap 56. He's on pit road for the second time. He really stretched it out here to go to the finish.
On pit road, all by his lonesome right now. I do believe anyways.
You don't want to do that.
No. That's going to hurt a lot. So, I've always been curious why people pit by themselves. It's either A, you didn't take enough fuel, B, you have something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, but you don't do it on strategy.
I think we've lost our telemetry up top, our ticker. I think we're working on that in the background. Hopefully we'll put it up to you. Right now, closing in on 23 laps to go. 23 remaining, and we got a caution. As I say that, the caution comes out. Chris Walters has crashed in turn 4, the number 9. And here comes a hefty amount of traffic coming out of his Chevrolet now, back rolling again. Chris Walters to put us on a yellow flag after a lengthy green flag run since lap 13. 57.
Oh, man.
Lap 57, and you see Walters around, and I got a feeling of that Walters Chevrolet. I don't think it's badly damaged. He'll continue, Jeremy, but he was racing somebody pretty hard there and just got kind of tossed around, if you will. I think business is about to pick up here at the World Center of Racing, my friend.
Is this 2007 NASCAR Richmond all over again? Where arm had an itch. We need to pack these things back up. So let's do a self-spin, no damage. That was the cleanest spin I've seen as far as like contact, not hitting any walls there right off of turn 4. That could have been, you know, an overcorrection and complete devastation. But able to not touch anything. You're right. Just going to go in for fresh general tires, and that's it.
The question is this, Jeremy. Do you pit? Do you think everybody's going to pit? Is position on the track more important than coming down for tires and fuel right now with closing in on 20 to go, my friend?
No, don't need tires. If you got the fuel already, don't come in. Like you're safe.
We're about to see the verdict because Ryan Bay, Devin West, Chance Crum, they're all pulling in. The leader, will he go for a psych? He will not. He pulls onto the pit lane commitment. And they're coming in. Dan West Jr. did not pit. He'll cycle back as the new leader now with 21 to go in Daytona, Jeremy. They're coming to pit road.
Well, I mean, everyone just did not listen to me. So the guy in 15th place is probably like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this, right? This is all for me. So, you know, that's what I would be doing. You don't, unless, like, these general tires, like I said, I don't know how much they wear.
Right.
Maybe they're wearing way worse than a Goodyear, but I think it's a bad call for the guys who now just lost a couple spots.
Pit stops being made. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's step away real quickly. We're going to take a break. Final commercial. And we'll take you to the finish of this race as we do have another yellow flag out for the 3rd time back at Daytona right after these words. iRacing on LSRTV and listening on CRN, the Northwest ARCA Series.
Hi, welcome to Day Motorsports. Come on, check out what we got.
Thank you for keeping Day Motorsports in business for over 50 years.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
it's Wesley Outland, the voice of the Northwest Racing iRacing Series on LSRTV, and proudly again on the Community Radio Network. As always, we're excited for another season of the best iRacing Pacific drivers of the Northwest, putting on a show that you all enjoy every Monday night. Join us also on LSRTV or listen on the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com. The power of radio to the imagination of the listener, iRacing style, CRN LSRTV for the Northwest Racing Series. Back here at Daytona, we are closing in on the home stretch of the first race of Season 1 of the ARCA Northwest Racing Series and the CRN Challenge from Daytona. 19 laps to go. Crank up those volumes. Ready for go time, Jeremy, to decide who's going to be the Pied Piper at the checkered flag. Dan West Jr. brings them back to green, and we're back up to it at Daytona. Look at this. WeatherTech double nickel up high, hit low, hit high, through the block on everybody, scampers with his teammate, catches up to Sean Reichsman now. Lifted and hung out on the bottom in 2.
19 to go here, 18 and a half on the back straightaway. Give it just a couple more laps, and this thing is going to get crazy. I do believe so. Outside seems to have the momentum early on these restarts, except for, well, this one, the 08.
There's Partridge.
Mr. Pat Partridge, yep, to the point here momentarily with the 83. Mr. Crum right behind him. Now for the first time, the inside has the advantage here, 18 laps to go.
And a Partridge in a pear tree up in front. Ray Partridge in that number 08 Ford up 26 spots to the lead. Dan West Jr. up 28 spots to third. Tyler King up 20 spots to ninth. Stephen Paulison up 21 spots to 12. Some of the high climbers through the field. Back straight away. We're about to get 3 wide, I think, here, Jeremy. Partridge in front.
They're wanting to.
And pushing his Crum.
They're wanting it. Let's see what happens. Big shove here from the 46. Mr. Brightsman. He's going to get stopped by the 2 cars right in front of him. That's going to momentarily stall. 83 Crum outside to the point once more. Does he stay to the top or does he cut in front of the Partridge in the 08? Momentarily, no. He's going to stay to the top. 17 laps remaining. They're still only 2 by 2 by 2 shuffling in the field.
Nearly the top 20 separated by a second, top 25 for that matter. All right there in a log jam session. Anybody, if you're in it, you can win it. And they're in it to win it right now. 16 to go when they come to the line. They thunder into turn 3 up the 31 degrees of banking. Partridge in the lead. Bloom right there in tow. So is Bay. Single inside. Room coming to the line. Partridge holds on. Look at the guys up in the top 10 start to climb. We're watching King and Moore and Newton. Some Northwest veterans starting to climb here as we go to the late run of the race here, Jeremy, into 1.
Inside lane taken off right now. There's a lot of movement. In fact, I thought one was going around, but at least
it was.
That.
Man.
That was a lot of movement here. This is where it gets crazy. This is going to be the end of a crazy ARCA race. No doubt about it. Who's going to make the biggest move here? A lot of shifting. Even inside the top 10, they're not wanting to stay still. Trying to keep their engines cool for the final moments of this race.
And next week we go to Phoenix. That track is 1.5 miles shorter than Daytona. Different characteristics, but that track has character. It's different with the dog leg on the front straightaway, the back stretch down to turn 3. A very unique racetrack, no doubt. We're going to see what that provides coming up next week at the new Phoenix for round 2. Right now, Partridge, 15 to go. You see him on the inside, and now Ryan Bay up on the top shelf. He'll now go to the lead. A couple of Chevrolets holding off a couple of Fords. A Partridge and Crom. That's Bay and Partridge. Now Troy Daggett gets into the battle. Here comes the 99. Mr. Consistent this year so far in the early going now. Jeremy is up to third. 15, 14 to go. Here as we close in on the final 25, 30 miles of this race at Daytona.
Troy Daggett on him. I thought he was going to get cleared of the 08 Partridge just for a moment. Could not get down to the bottom this time. On the back straightaway, he's clear. Does he try to pass the 49 of Ryan Bay to put himself in P1? Back straightaway here off of turn 2. Still, the lanes remain 2 by 2 by 2. Very little shifting. And toward the back, there they go. They're moving up toward the top. Straight the numbers. Outside, 3-4 cars straight.
Wow.
Single file at the top of the track.
Jeremy, they're coming to the line. 13 to go, but that car scraping off the wall. Into the wall. Trouble. Holds on to it. In the back. Slammed the safer barrier. We saw concrete dust. And then he kept on going. Will stay green. 13 to go. But Jeremy, what I was going to say, though, with Bay leading, we noticed in the truck race a couple of weeks ago for the Northwest that the outside lane did not work. You had to be committed to the double yellow line. Why is the top working? It's now Dan West Jr. bounces off the safer barrier.
There they
and
go.
They're crashing behind them. Trouble. Parts flying.
Oh my
Chris White collected. Right to the PA. A car is airborne. Backstretch. The big one with 12 to go here in Daytona.
Who just wicked
Wow.
barreled off the outside wall? That was, that was a heavy hit. I'm so glad this is
I
on
want
the
to
first
say that was
Daytona.
Bryce Clark. That was the one that got airborne big time in the air. We'll see what happened. Here's a replay.
Hard
Or was it
hook to the outside.
23?
God.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
it was
he
wow,
glitched
here's a
on the
replay.
catch
Watch
fit.
this. Take your pick.
We're going to figure this
What a
out.
crash. William Fletcher, Chris White, Stephen Bartlett, Kenneth Garber. I think it's Kenneth Garber, Jeremy. I think it's the 94 that really got barrel rolling in the air. Let's see if we can pick it up again from this angle. Right there.
It's not this one.
Jeff Stabnow.
69.
It's the 69 car. Okay, we caught it.
How's he
So the
driving?
69
There's
machine
no
of
way.
Justin Brester. Let's find Brester's ride. He's the one that went for a big tumble. Welcome
He just drove
to the
away.
Northwest competition. Watch this. You're on board with him, Jeremy.
Oh, man.
Boy,
Is this
oh,
a gyro
boy.
cam? No, it's not. Okay, thank you. Because this was going to be a headache. Here we go.
Hold on. It's like he lifted off over the top of the rear end of the 23 car, and it was like an airplane. He just went airborne over Bartlett's car. Wow. I'm surprised,
initial-
Jeremy, he's rolling away.
That's what I kept saying.
From
Like,
another
how
angle.
is he driving? The initial hook there, 27, just got obliterated from the bottom of the track straight
That's
to
Paul
the
Newton,
top.
the Daytona truck winner.
And then
Wow.
wow.
Woo! Tumbling down the back straightaway. Luckily, it's Sim World. You just hit the escape button, and you can start over, go on the DVP clock, take some time, see if he can get back out there. Jeremy, I want to set this up, and we can go to replay one more time, Charles. Look at Dan West Jr. Dan West Jr. in the 55, Charles. Jeremy, he hit the wall. He started that accident. Dan West Jr. did. The WeatherTech 55 hit the safer barrier. He was able to keep going, but when he did, it stacked up the outside lane behind them.
And now look at him. He's
Wow.
up here competing for the win. A couple of the biggest movers, Dan West Jr. 25 positions right now, holds the largest amount of positions gained. In fourth place, Ray Partridge, up 23. Stephen
William
Paul's in the-
Fletcher,
yeah,
Chris
20.
White, William Fletcher, Chris White, Stephen Bartlett, Kenneth Garber, the 69 again, getting airborne. Justin Brester, Todd Miles, Stephen Bartlett, all of them coming down pit road for service or possibly out of the race. And Jeremy, this is the big wreck that we had a feeling was coming with 11 laps to go. Now you bunch everybody up. You see that track position's more important than coming down to pit lane like it was 7-8 laps ago when we had our third caution. Track position is paramount, and it is go time with 10 to go. When we come back to green, it'll be 9 remaining, and that's next time by. It is go time here in Daytona. You have got to be aggressive if you're going to win this race here.
Have to be. There's going to be a lot of movement from the leader all the way back to the, outside the top 20 to do what you got to do. 9 laps to win the first ever ARCA series in this current generation of ARCA cars. So you want to have your name first on the trophy, and this is going to get fun. If you haven't had fun yet, this will be it. Appreciate you 17, 18 viewers that have been on LSRTV's YouTube page. I know there's been no chats, but they've been sticking around because the show has been that much fun.
If you're in the chat box, give us a little shout out where you're from, where you're tuning in, and who is your pick to win this race? Because I do got a feeling, Jeremy, this is about to get wild. Don't forget, next week we're off on Monday. We come back on the 14th at Portland. However, next Thursday night, the Northwest ARCA Series Round 2 will be at Jeremy's favorite racetrack, Phoenix Raceway. Coverage will begin tentatively around 11:15 Eastern, 8:15 Pacific next Thursday night. LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. All right, here we go. Top 10 with 10 to go, 9 at the line. Ryan Bay, Troy Daggett to the front row behind the pace car that's about to peel on to the pit road. Troy Daggett, Chance Crum, Ray Partridge, Ryan Bloom, top 5, Dan West Jr., Frank Harris, Sean Brightsman, Dennis Moore, and Roy Grande. 5 Chevrolets, 3 Fords, 2 Toyotas. In it to win it. Back to green. Ryan Bay outside. Is Crum. Restart. Bay gets the lead on the bottom into turn 1.
Restart on the inside once more here. Outside trying to figure out what to do here. They got the numbers scattering all over the place, trying to see which lane will get them to victory lane here in 8.5 laps. All over the place. Who's your partner? Who's not? And 55 wants to scrape the wall one more time.
He's been up over the wall 2 or 3 times on the restart, Jeremy. He's already lost 6 spots. This cloud cover comes over the speedway as well. 9 to go, 8 to go. 8 remaining now. Ryan Bay leads him back off into the cloud-covered Daytona. 31 degrees of making to 1.
Inside for an amount of cars. Still 7.5 laps remaining in the inaugural ARCA Series race here at Daytona. Oh, the inside may be shifting up to the top. We might see 3 wide for the first time at the front of the pack. Into turn number 3. 2 by 2. It's hard to tell. No, there's a lot of space right now, but the door's open. Who wants to take it?
Will it be a veteran or will it be a new driver for ARCA and the Northwest brand? To the line, 7 to go now. Chance Crum, Ryan Bay. Look at Frank Harris on the bottom of that neon yellow and green highlighter 77. Now trying to fight for the lead. He's right behind Ryan Bay for the lead. Veteran and rookie here in the Northwest going at it for the finish in Daytona.
Ryan does not know top or bottom. Got to be careful when he's shifting these lanes. The bump traps could be hard or strong whenever you get there to the inside or outside lane. He's going to choose to stay to the top, though, coming up to 6 laps to go. Number of games on the outside this time here. Momentum's consistently shifting between the top and bottom. Right now he's in the preferred lane.
6 to go. Here at the line. Outside lane still working for Bay, Jeremy, but keep an eye on Tyler King. The 21 is pushing Frank Harris. Listen to this. Career start, 368 for the Northwest for Frank Harris, Jeremy. 11 top 5s, 86 top 10s, but he has never in 368 starts won in the Northwest Racing Series. Right now, he is in the catbird seat to possibly push on the bottom and make that happen. Daggett pushing alongside with Bloom. King is there. Newton's back up there. 5 to go out of turn 4 this time by.
Top 4 or 5 on the outside are single file, but they're electing to take the outside lane. Still, that's where the momentum's currently at. Does that shift? Up to turn number 1 and turn number 2. The inside car of the 77, Frank Harris, is trying. He's up to about 3rd now. He needs just a little bit more help here as they're starting to move around a lot in the backstretch.
Let's be honest, anybody in the top 25 separated by mere second, not even a second, could win this race, 20th position for that matter. Anybody in the top 20, tighter than a lid on a virtual pickle jar, ready, stride for stride, staying within, they're right there amongst one another. One wrong slip and you've got calamity. Closing in on 10 miles remaining, 4 to go here in Daytona. 190 miles to the home stretch we go. We're wrecking in the back. We got a car on the wall. They're smoking. They keep going. And we got Cron going around Bay for the lead in 2.
Heating up here on the top of the track and on the bottom. Tons of movement.
Whoa.
All throughout the field. Look at the 44 man, Mr. Dennis Moore pushing.
Dennis Moore.
The crap out of Ryan Bay, but it's not enough. The 83 is here. Crum with Frank Harris. Gonna lead off of turn 4. The momentum's not there. 3 wide mid-pack.
I'm telling you, buddy. And look at them starting to get antsy now. Frank Harris, does he go high? Does he go low? Does he hang with his teammate? I would say you stay with Crum, Frank. Don't get pushed out of line, because if you do, you might go bye-bye and free fall. Working in turn number 2, 3 to go. It's Crum to the inside. Harris is right there with him, pushing him on the bottom as they work the back straightaway super stretch.
And to turn
up to 3.
Yep, 2 1/4 laps remaining. There's not enough on the bottom right now. This cannot sustain 4 versus 2. Wreck in the back to 58. Here we go.
Paulison, Brightsman, they're crashing. Paulison, Brightsman, Crum, King, Johnson crashing. Audenbacher, yellow flag, 3 to go. You got overtime here in Daytona now.
Huge crash. Take a look here on the LSRTV replay. What happened? We're 3 wide. We're already in the wall. There's the 4. Remember, he's involved in the first wreck here early on, Mr. Bryan. Oh, it happened in front. This was just straight up the 46. Brightsman with the 58. They get together and cause calamity on the exit of turn 4.
A number of good cars, veteran drivers, rookie drivers up there. Another angle. You knew it was bound to happen. You know, Jeremy, you kind of hit it on. They were really getting antsy. Look at this, 4 wide, up high. Partridge, Devin West, King, Paulison, bouncing off one another. King into the left rear, turning Brightsman, turning Paulison, and everyone else crushing from there. Caution out. We go to overtime with 2 laps to go in the official race distance of this event.
See.
We're
going to see our first green white checker.
I think not.
Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Now they got to regroup. They got to cool off just to get their anxiety built back up. Everybody wants this first champ or this trophy, right? So the 29, Ryan Bay is going to have to work for it, being new here to the Northwest Series.
Stephen Paulison involved in the accident, Roy Grande, Tristan Hayter. Of course, we saw Sean Brightsman, John Ottenbacher. A multi-car accident again coming out of the turn 4, 31 degrees of banking, entering the tri-oval to set us up for another caution, and it is overtime. They will get 2 attempts per the Northwest rule book. 2 attempts at overtime. That's all they get. You have to take the white flag, the CRN 1 to go. If the leader takes the white flag, it is checkers or wreckers. Wreckers or checkers, because they are, Jeremy, are racing to the finish. It is wreckers to checkers, why I always call it that, because if they take the white flag, the CRN 1 to go, they're racing back to the line regardless. If there is a caution before they take the white flag, we'll re-rack them and restack them.
That's right. Big 10-4 on that there. Hopefully we don't have to see it. Hopefully this is it.
No, we don't.
I want to see him race it to the end. Really curious to see how the 83 and the 29 side by side are gonna maintain. They've been pushing each other and helping each other so long. Now they have to go against each other here side by side on this restart. It's gonna be a fun one.
Strap in. You're exactly right. As they'll be coming to the 1 to go indication this time by, whew, boy, oh boy. No one is showing signs of coming to pit lane. 5 miles left to settle it here, as this would be officially lap number 80, 200 miles complete right now. But there is overtime. Lights off for the pace car. We're getting ready to come back for green next time around. Drivers that can go for the wave around, gonna do that right now unless they're getting doubled up behind the pace car. Jeremy, who's your pick to win this race, man? I'm gonna tell you something. Ryan Bay, Chance Crum, they look good, but I'm gonna tell you, I think the veteran prowess of the Northwest is starting to peak more. Bloom, Daggett, Harris, West Jr., Paul Newton in the top 10. I think it's go time. These veterans have been in these predicaments before. Another guy, Kyler Hope, he's cracked into the top 12. He's up to 11th. Keep an eye on these guys. You got to be in it to win it. And with 5 miles remaining on the restart, Jeremy, all bets are off.
I think my pick's that 29 car. Starting first, he has lane choice. He's been doing very well at maintaining where he needs to be up front. So I think the 29 is going to sweep the show, basically. I think he's going to take home that trophy. That's my pick.
And Jeremy, I got a question to ask you as we come back to green. We noticed in the Northwest truck race, and that was right before the accident happened, I was going to ask you. We saw the outside lane just not work. The inside lane, finally, right now, starting to work. Is it because of racing early in the morning conditions? We're getting into the afternoon now. Can we see the temperatures real quick in sim time, Charles, before we come back for a restart? I just want to see if it's around 10:30. Yeah, okay. I was dead on it there, Jeremy. 10:30 in the morning, and you see the track temp is more warm than the air temp. I wonder if that really changed the racetrack here. We're about to find out. Pace car is in. Sun, mostly cloudy conditions, but the sun out now. Overtime in Daytona. This is overtime number 1. We're back to green, Jeremy. They're heading your way into turn 1.
Here we go. The 29 to the top. He's going to have the 83 follow him right away. He is confident the outside lane is going to take him where he needs to be. He's going to drop top to the bottom here on the back straightaway. It's so tempting. And there he goes. 1 car to the bottom. Trying to make,
there's Dan West Jr.
Man,
Boy.
Ryan Bloom got
And
blocked hard.
Troy Daggett on the inside. The 99 pushing to catch Bay away as they work into turn number 3, Jeremy, as they're coming out of 4. We got a man. Wow, Troy Daggett. Could it be for the Northwest ARCA man? He is looking for the lead in the white flag off turn 4.
He's got help. It's so close. It belongs to the 29 of Ryan Bay. 1 lap to go. 2.5 miles remaining here. Oh, man, the inside stalling, though. It is stalling hard. It's going to reshift some people into the inside. Devin West to the bottom
West.
now. He's going to make the try.
Devin West up high. Troy Daggett now getting back in line behind him. By the way, in his 190th start for the Northwest, Jeremy, he's never won in the Northwest either. They're crashing in the back. They're racing to the line. White flag. Ryan Bay. Up high is Crum. Devin West in the middle. And so is Dan West Jr., father, son amongst the new rookies of the ARCA Northwest Series. Devin West comes to the line. Ryan Bay holding off Chance Crum. He'll finish second, and they're wrecking with Troy Daggett going around in the checkered flag, along with Dan West Jr. Devin West wins the first ARCA race for the Northwest Series here in the Daytona 200. It took overtime, but he made it work. He was all the way, Jeremy, in the 9th position, and he climbed his way back to the front. Devin West wins here in Daytona. Wow.
What an awesome pass. Awesome effort there by a lot of people on the final lap. And, you know, the 29 left his partner in crime, the 83. He left him in turn 3. Karma bit him real quick as the number 5 went to the top and shipped the 29 from 1st to 3rd just on the front straightaway. And some great work of side draft. Well done, Devin West.
Devin West up 14 spots to win the race. Dan West Jr., 26 spots. He was right there with son Devin fighting for the finish off 4. He did get wrecked, but he came back and still finished 5th when the checkered flag fell. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the Northwest with ARCA, this is the high 5 salute.
Debris everywhere. Boom.
This is how we send off our drivers at the end of race night.
Is that it? You got a couple takes?
Man,
there was a lot of wrecked race cars.
I think we need to change the camera angles. Change the, yeah, here we go. Here he comes. Ray Fournier driving in the grass there. Jeff Stabnow, beaten, battered, and banged. Who's he gonna plow into? Jeff Stabnow will finish in the top 25. Who will it be? Oh,
nobody.
Strike one. That's about as bad as the Brave season's been this year.
Rest in pepperonis.
Ugh. You know, Jeremy, we play your Florida team, the Marlins, tomorrow, so hopefully we can turn it around and get a win at Truist Park at home in ATL. Because the Braves are the only losing team in Major League Baseball this year.
You said my team, Florida, the Marlins?
Well, I mean, you're in Florida. You're from Florida. I meant the Florida Marlins.
Not the Miami Marlins, no.
Okay.
Any team but Miami.
Let's take a look at. I thought that was just the Miami Hurricanes. Here we go. Anybody in Miami? The Dolphins, the Hurricanes, and I guess the Marlins as well. And the NHL team too. Devin West and Chance Crum. That's the way they'll finish 1 and 2 when the checkered flag falls here tonight in Daytona. In overtime, Ryan Bay will finish 3rd. Pulled out of line. Didn't go your teammate, Jeremy, as you said, and it cost him in the end. How about it for Kyler Hope, my buddy for Flow Racing, and all he does in real racing world, in iRacing, he gets a top 5 finish in 4th. Dan West Jr., 5th. Troy Daggett, Ryan Bloom, Brett Johnson, Dennis Moore, Frank Harris, your top 10. The winner is Devin West, but you got to be in it to win it. And Jeremy, we saw new names jump the scoring pylon as the checkered flag fell in those closing laps.
We sure did. And here's your 11th through 20th finishers. Paul Newton in 11, Ray Partridge in 12th. Brian Barnes ends up in 13th, Roy Grande Jr. 14th. John Ottenbacher slipped back to 15th toward the end there. Sean Bryce Smith at 16th. Stephen Paulison, P17. Ryder Shiflett, 18th. Tyler King in 19th. And Taylor Alto in P20.
Finishing 21st, a lap down, Ray Fournier, Mike Knott 22nd. Dana Rogers will finish 23rd. So is also Jeff Stabdown on the racetrack. Top 25 finish for Tristan Hayter. Then it's Hunter Crum, Chris Walters, Bryce Clark, Christopher White a top 30 along with Justin Brester.
Got Todd Miles, Stephen Bartlett, William Fletcher, Kenneth Garber, Scott Hutchinson, Chris Kynes, Ron Hunter, and Brian Reynoso. Ends up in the last place, 39th on the board.
Final look at the race summary. 5 cautions, 15 caution laps, 83 laps in total for the race distance, and 16 lead changes. Thanks to Virginia811.com reminding you to dig with care. We're going to grab the podium. Devin West, Chance Crum, Ryan Bay, they're on deck. When we come back, LSRTV, CRN's coverage of the Northwest ARCA Series and the CRN Challenge. Devin West, a veteran of the Northwest, wins again. If you're keeping track, his overall career win is now for Devin West at 32. Back here at Daytona International Speedway, the celebration is on for the driver of Mr. Devin West. Devin in his, of course, picking up his 32nd career win, former Truck Series champion of the Northwest in 2023. And Devin West, not only that, in career start 184, I'm counting all of Northwest competition. What a special victory, right? 108 top fives, 132 top 10s, but the 32nd career win here in Daytona. What do you think of this ARCA race, Devin?
It was awesome, man. I don't know what we were doing tonight, but it was working. I mean, for this big of a field to show up and have, I don't know. I mean, I was one of the cautions. Went through wide. I don't know. That was probably a bonehead move, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was clean all night, and I was shocked by that. I feel like our truck races with half the people struggle to do that. So I don't know what the deal is.
And the walk us through the final lap. There's so much drag on these cars, and you made that move to the top. That's something that you kind of eyeballed it once Ryan had went down to the bottom, or did it just like a last-second decision to try to get that checkered flag?
I had no idea what was going on. I still don't know what's going on. I didn't practice for a single lap. I don't know what just happened, to be honest with you. I may never win again. Thought I luck I just used that because I really have no idea what just happened. I don't know how I won.
Well, you did.
Listen, I mean, you were in the back there, Devin. I mean, when you came to the green, your dad did help you push. What's your take on your dad helping you? And I got to ask you this question. What's it like with these new names racing with veteran Northwest guys like yourself? I kind of said watch the contingent of the Northwest veterans. They're climbing, but these new guys of the Northwest we've never heard before, they were putting up a fight. What's your take of that new breed and the veterans racing each other here?
Well, I think they're new guys to the league, but they're definitely not new guys to a lot of people in this league, especially me. I know the Crumbs and Hyder and all those guys. I mean, those guys have been around for quite a while. So, also, I knew once I saw them in the practice session, I wasn't too sure I was going to run tonight because I just had this stuff going on. Once I saw them in here, I was like, I got to show up for a little bit at least. And I don't know, see how they do. Hopefully they come back for more races. I mean, having those guys in it, making it more competitive is always just more fun for us. So, hopefully this ARCA league does well. It's a ton of fun. The cars, I'm curious how they do on a non-drafting track.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just new to me. I just bought the car like an hour ago. No, 3 hours ago, I guess. So, I don't know. I'm curious how it goes. Hopefully it can be as clean like normal. We have 35, 40 cars, again. So, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, you got another 20 weeks of this as round one is done. Next week we will be going to Phoenix, and that's not a restrictor plate track, so I think it'll be cool to see what it does, though. Devin, congratulations. Before I let you go, man, please thank your sponsors.
Yeah, obviously Team LSRTV, Jeff and Sean putting this league on. They do an awesome job. They put in a ton of work behind the scenes, and obviously without them, this wouldn't happen at all. So, big shout out to them. LSRTV guys up in the booth, that was great. I enjoyed watching the races afterwards. Effective Web Solutions, Motorsports Distributing, and Kenny's Custom Hardwood.
Devin West, career start number 184. He picks up his 32nd career win of the Northwest Racing Series. 108 top fives and now 132 top tens for the driver out of Shelton, Washington. Let's bring in some new contingent of voices we've never heard before. From iRacing of the Northwest brand, Chance Crum, the 83, will finish second. Chance, you were making some noise. I really noticed, though, you liked the bottom of the racetrack. What was the decision to move up to the top in the late rally, or did it just seem that the bottom finally started working right when the top quit, acted up? Was it the sun? Was it the clouds? And what was it like racing with these Northwest veterans this evening in Daytona?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Top to bottom, we were really just trying to figure out where the momentum was. Early on, the top seemed to be working for a while. There in the middle part of the race, especially, actually.
Right.
The outside really was rolling, and it's like, all right, this is getting pretty dominant. But then, when green flag pit stops came around, we had to get down to the bottom and, make that happen. And then there towards the end, just trying to go, with the best we could and, find gaps and trying to find our way back to the front. I was trying to debate early before the race, okay, do we hang out in the back? Do we, try and survive for a bit, or do we try and get up front? And, decided to try and qualify, get up front, got to the lead early, and then unfortunately about died. Had a good look at the lake there in the infield for a minute, and fell all the way to the back. So then we spent the middle part of the race trying to climb back through. But it was a good group of drivers. I'm really happy to get to do this series, and it was a great field, and so made for a lot of fun racing.
And Chance, there, yeah, you for the most part of the race, I think you were stuck behind the 29 there, Ryan Bay. You made some friends there for sure. Was that the game plan after about halfway through? Because you guys worked so well as a team.
Yeah, I don't know Ryan, but he was doing really well. I haven't raced with him very much. he's definitely a great person to draft with there. Him and Devin, we ended up pitting with them on that green flag pit stop, me and Tristan and Hunter. And Hunter unfortunately missed his mark there, and he got unhooked with us. But we had a good pack going. We were kind of off strategy from some of the lead cars, and so it was kind of interesting to see how the fuel strategy was going to work out. But there at the end, everyone got back on the same fuel strategy, and it was just a matter of finding where you could go and trying to go with where the momentum was. And definitely lots of good cars there at the end. So just trying to go where we could. Unfortunately, just came up one short. But thought about trying to throw a block there at the end, just wasn't going to happen. And so just tried to follow Ryan the best I could. He was making good decisions and was really stable partner to work with. So we had a good time there.
Well, Chance, buddy, before we let you go, man, please thank your sponsors. And if real quickly, tell us some of your background, where you came from now running the Northwest ARCA Series.
Yeah, I'm from Washington. I'm from Snohomish. I've been iRacing since I was a kid for a long time.
Awesome.
I race in real life. I race USAC sprint cars. So not a pavement guy, but I always loved pavement racing. I grew up around Evergreen Speedway, so always loved pavement racing as well. But yeah, big thank you to Elevate Racing Media for coming on board for this and making this happen for me. And glad to have them on board here for ARCA at Daytona. Thank you to everyone part of the league for putting this on, and you guys here at the broadcast. And shout out to my teammates Kyler, Hunter, Tristan, and Justin. Fortunately, they didn't all make it there at the end, but glad Kyler and I could finish there in the top 5 there towards the end.
Hey, I got a question to ask you. Who is the popular sprint car driver from Snohomish, Washington? I'm trying to think of his name.
You got a few. You got
Seth Bergman.
You got Seth Bergman.
There he is.
You got Gary Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's a few people from Snohomish. Yeah.
Seth Bergman, Snohomish, Washington driver. I used to be the voice of Gary Taylor's a popular one too, but I used to be the voice of the USCS Sprint Car Series, and
cool.
I come to know Mr. Seth Bergman very well too. So pretty nice guy for sure, definitely. Yeah. That used to be a hard name to say during driver introductions to go to broadcast school and figure out how to pronunciate it, right?
Yeah, Snohomish is not a very common one, but there's actually quite a few drivers from Snohomish, so we tend to get that a lot. Yeah.
Well, Chance, thanks, buddy. Hope you join with us next week and for the season to come. That's Chance Crum. He'll finish second in the 83. Let's grab now Ryan Bay in the 29. He finishes in third. Ryan, if you had to go back and do things different again, what would it have been? And you had a really good run. Led some laps. Did you have fun racing with the Northwest tonight in the ARCA Series in Daytona?
Man, yeah, it was a lot of fun. This is my first race in the Northwest League. I really thought I had it made out of turn 3 there. I dropped down to the inside. I thought I'd be able to keep them back, but then obviously Devin was able to go to the outside, and then I wasn't going to wreck the whole field and go up there. But we were able to lead a lot of laps up front the entire race. The pit strategy, just like Chance said, ended up working out for us, all us guys that pitted it on one of those first cautions. But it was a lot of fun. I felt really confident up front there. Really nice to race these guys up there. Was able to work with Devin for a while there on that first run, and we held that outside lane for a long time, and they couldn't even touch us on the inside. So that was a lot of fun to draft with them. Really clean race by everyone. Had a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had a lot of fun out there. It was a lot of fun to watch you guys as well. And what a strong car you had. You just did not leave the front no matter what the case was. What's the magic to staying up front? Because I like to ask this because usually I get to the front and then I fall back. But there's just some people who just are glued to the front. And it seemed like you were one of them. So what was the magic there?
Yeah, I knew that these things are really draggy. These are brand new cars. We're all pretty new to them. This is my first super speedway race with this new ARCA car. So I knew they were draggy, so my strategy was just to stay up front as much as I could, whether that was in the front lane or just trying to keep that outside lane back. I would even slow down to back them up a bit just to make sure that no one would dive below me earlier in the race. But just doing everything I could to stay up front and not let cars in front of me, and then when they got in front of me, when I would get stuck on the inside, I'd find a hole and try to get up there as soon as I could to lead that outside lane again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, Chance was talking about racing with you. You guys were teammates. And I don't want to say this in a bad way, but When do you jump out of line? When did you know that maybe Chance was like, okay, I'm going to try to win this thing? Are you good? Are you okay? And what is that like whenever the teammates kind of have to go their own way and you got to fight for the win?
Yeah, we're not teammates. We're not like in voice chat or anything, but we have worked together well this race. But as far as just knowing when to jump out of line, especially at the end there, I noticed that the guy behind me, I forget who it was, but the guy behind me in 3 and 4 had no help behind him. So that's why I jumped down to the inside to keep everyone back. And unfortunately, it didn't happen late enough to where they wouldn't be able to get around me on the outside. But yeah.
Well, buddy, before we let you go, Ryan, please thank your sponsors, and we'll see you next week in Phoenix.
Yeah, if you want to check out a cool iRacing stats website, just head to neum.app. Just a fun stats website that I made myself. And just a quick thanks to my wife for being on baby duty so I could race tonight. And thanks to the admins for putting on a free ARCA league for all of us to enjoy.
There you go. There is the thoughts of the driver of Mr. Ryan Bay. He'll finish in the 3rd position, and that will wrap up round number 1 of the CRN Challenge Series and the debut of the ARCA Northwest Racing Series Daytona in the books. Now we go to the non-super speedway tracks next week, and that'll be at Phoenix Raceway. I know you like that track, obviously, Mr. Jeremy Stanley, for the Cactus Bites 150. Your final take of tonight. We go to Phoenix. Fun working with you always, my friend.
Yes, sir. Likewise. And final take, ARCA cars kick ass, and I can't wait to see what they look like on the non-super speedways as well. These cars are a blast to drive and to watch, and you guys tune in every single week here at LSRTV. It's going to be a fun one.
I have to say that I follow the exact same sentiments as you, and we hope that you plan to be with us all season long. We got 20 weeks to go with this. Remember, next race on LSRTV and CRN, Northwest ARCA, next Thursday at Phoenix. For Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, everybody at Rocket Media, the Northwest Racing Series, John Audebacher, Sean Brightsman, and Jeff Stabnow. For Jeremy Stanley, I'm Wesley Outland. Good evening from Daytona. Congrats to Devin West, winner of the Daytona 200.